Let me ask you a question. What if no one ever shows up? No mentor, no opportunity, no lucky break. What if help never comes? Would you survive? Would you rise? Or would you crumble, waiting for a rescue that was never meant for you? Because here's the truth most people run from. No one is coming to save you. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you become unstoppable. Taking personal responsibility is the foundational step toward becoming someone powerful, respected, and unstoppable. When you accept full ownership of your life, your actions, your thoughts, your failures, you stop being a victim and start being the person who controls the outcome. That shift in mindset separates the average from the elite, the forgotten from the feared. It's not just about acknowledging mistakes. It's about internalizing the fact that everything you are and everything you're not is on you. Your body, your responsibility. Your bank account, your responsibility. Your mental toughness, your discipline, your knowledge, your ability to adapt, grow, and lead, every single piece of it is yours to build or destroy. No one else is going to do it for you. Most people live in denial. They point fingers. Their job sucks, it's their boss's fault. They're out of shape, must be bad genetics. They're broke, the economy. They never stop to ask themselves if they've actually done anything worthy of the success they think they deserve. That's the difference between a loser and someone who wins. Winners don't look around for someone to fix things. They become the person who fixes things. When something goes wrong, they don't collapse. They analyze, they adapt, they improve. That's not luck. That's the byproduct of taking absolute control of their life. It's easy to say you're a product of your environment. And sure, some people are born into more privilege, more comfort, better situations. But so what? Life isn't fair. It never has been. Sitting around and crying about it changes nothing. You can't control where you started, but you can absolutely control where you go from here. You're not stuck because of your past. You're stuck because you haven't decided to move forward yet. Taking responsibility means burning the safety net, killing the excuses, and accepting that everything is now on you. That's where your power comes from. People love to talk about motivation. They want to be inspired. They wait for some emotional high to get them going. But people who take responsibility don't rely on emotion. They rely on discipline. They show up no matter what. Whether they feel like it or not is irrelevant. They understand that if they don't do it, no one else will. That's what personal responsibility really is. Showing up every single day for yourself. You don't need someone to wake you up. You don't need someone to check on your goals. You don't need external validation. You do it because it's who you are. And who you are is someone who gets things done. Once you take responsibility, the excuses disappear. You realize that every complaint is a confession of your own lack of action. If you're tired of being tired, do something about it. If you hate your life, change it. If you want something more, go earn it. That mindset alone makes you dangerous. It puts you ahead of 90% of people who are still waiting for something or someone to save them. Responsibility isn't just about hard work, it's about mindset. It's about seeing yourself as the solution to every problem, not the victim of every circumstance. When you carry that energy, people feel it. When you live that truth, results follow, not because someone gave them to you, but because you took them. The harsh reality that most people refuse to accept is that the world owes you absolutely nothing. Not a job, not happiness, not love, not even fairness. And that's where most people lose. They walk around with this invisible debt list, believing life should reward them just for existing, that the world is somehow supposed to hand them opportunities, support, comfort, and validation just because they've been through pain or made some effort. But life doesn't care. It doesn't bend to your emotions. It doesn't pause for your struggles. You can scream, cry, break down, but the world keeps moving, and it will move right past you if you don't wake up and start moving with it. People spend years waiting for someone to recognize their potential, to appreciate their value, to give them the green light. That's weakness. If you're sitting around hoping the world will notice you, you've already lost. Winners don't wait for permission. They take what they believe is theirs by force, with work, with presence, with undeniable value. They build themselves into something so strong, so sharp, that the world has no choice but to respond. But it starts when you kill the illusion that anything is owed to you. You're not special because you want success. You're not unique because you've had struggles. Everyone has problems. Everyone has a story. What matters is what you do despite it. The truth is, life respects results, not intention, not effort, not potential, only results. And the sooner you realize that no one is sitting up at night plotting to make your life better, the sooner you'll start building it yourself. Waiting for help, waiting for understanding, waiting for a lucky break, those are the habits of people who stay stuck forever. There's no rescue mission coming for you. No secret team of people planning to swoop in and fix your finances, fix your body, fix your mindset. That responsibility falls on you. Always has, always will. A lot of people confuse this truth with pessimism, but it's not negativity, it's power. Because once you fully internalize that the world doesn't owe you anything, you stop playing the emotional game. You stop wasting energy being disappointed that things aren't easier. Instead, you use that energy to get harder, to get smarter, to get better. You become someone who doesn't expect help but earns respect. You walk into every situation knowing that if it's going to happen, it's going to be because you made it happen, not because someone handed it to you. And yes, sometimes people will have it easier. Some will be born into money, into status, into networks. That's life. That's the game. But every second you waste complaining about their head start is another second you're not building your own empire. Your frustration doesn't affect them. It only slows you down. So what do the strong do? They turn their disadvantages into fuel. They make their pain productive. They let their hunger become sharper than any privilege. Because the one thing more powerful than having advantages is becoming someone who never needed them. You either learn to dominate in a world that doesn't care, or you get dominated by it. There's no middle ground. If you want something, you take it. If you want to be heard, you speak with results. If you want to matter, you make yourself matter. The world won't hand you your worth. You have to prove it. And that proof starts when you stop expecting life to give you anything and start becoming the kind of person who earns everything. Comfort is the most seductive lie in the world. It whispers to you that you're fine where you are, that things don't need to change, that you've done enough. It tells you to hit snooze, to take a break, to relax because you deserve it. But here's the brutal truth. Comfort is the enemy of growth, success, power, and self-respect. It dulls your instincts. It robs you of your potential. It disguises itself as peace when in reality, it's slowly suffocating your ambition. You weren't built to sit around in comfort all day. You weren't designed to be passive, distracted, or soft, but modern life has made it easy. Everything is available instantly. Food, entertainment, distraction, attention. You can avoid discomfort for years if you want. But it comes at a cost. Your edge, your hunger, your discipline. Every time you choose comfort over challenge, you lose a little bit of yourself. You give up strength for ease. And then you wonder why you're stuck, why you feel empty, why nothing is changing. Look at anyone who's built something worth remembering, an empire, a career, a legacy. None of them did it from the comfort of their couch. They put themselves through hell to earn their power. Early mornings, late nights, failure, pressure, rejection, criticism. They didn't run from it, they faced it. Because they knew growth lives in that pain. Real development starts when things get uncomfortable. When your muscles burn, when your mind is stretched, when you're exhausted but still pushing. That's when transformation happens, not when you're cozy, safe, and entertained. But most people can't handle discomfort because they've been trained to avoid it at all costs. School teaches you to follow rules, not to push limits. Society rewards conformity, not courage. You're told to pursue happiness, but no one tells you that happiness comes from struggle, from achieving what was once thought impossible. You're told to be balanced, but the truth is, balance doesn't build greatness. Obsession does. Sacrifice does. Temporary imbalance for long-term mastery. That's the formula. Comfort tells you that there's time, that tomorrow is guaranteed, that you can take it slow and still get what you want. But time is ruthless. Every second you waste in comfort is one you don't get back. Every day you choose ease over effort is a day your competition gets stronger. And while you're relaxing, there's someone out there grinding, improving, evolving. When you finally wake up, they're already miles ahead. That's what comfort does. It lulls you into believing you're moving when you're really just standing still. Winners deliberately seek discomfort. They train in it. They make it their home. They don't avoid pressure. They chase it because pressure reveals character. It separates those who want results from those who just want to feel good. When you live in discomfort long enough, it becomes normal. And once it's normal, you become dangerous. You can outwork, outlast, and outperform anyone still addicted to comfort. People chase motivation, but motivation is nothing compared to what discipline through discomfort can build. There are days you won't feel like it, days when everything hurts, when nothing is working. Those are the days that count the most. That's where the real version of you is built. Not when it's easy, not when it's fun, but when it's brutal and you do it anyway. Comfort promises happiness, but delivers regret. You don't remember the easy days. You remember the days you overcame. You remember the fight, not the rest. The pride comes from the pain, and the more discomfort you're willing to endure, the more unstoppable you become. Comfort doesn't love you, it keeps you weak. And in a world built for the strong, that's the fastest way to lose everything. Discipline is the one thing that separates the people who dream from the people who execute. It's not talent, it's not luck, it's not who you know, it's the ability to show up and do the work whether you feel like it or not. Motivation is temporary, discipline is permanent. Anyone can work hard for a day, maybe even a week when they're fired up. But what happens when the feeling fades? That's where discipline takes over. It's the habit that carries you through every excuse, every distraction, every moment of doubt. Most people wait until they feel ready. They wait until they're in the mood, until the conditions are perfect, until life slows down. But life doesn't wait. Discipline doesn't care if you're tired, bored, uninspired, or even scared. It shows up regardless. Discipline is about doing the thing that moves you forward every single day, no matter what obstacles are in the way. It's about refusing to negotiate with your weakness. Your mind will try to talk you out of it. It will come up with 1,000 reasons why you should stop or take it easy. Discipline silences that voice and acts anyway. If you look at the most successful people in any field, athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, soldiers, what they all have in common isn't constant motivation. It's a ruthless commitment to doing the work day after day, year after year. They've built systems, habits, routines. They don't rely on inspiration, they rely on structure. And that's the difference. While everyone else is chasing hacks, shortcuts, and comfort, disciplined people are grinding, putting in reps, mastering the boring stuff. Because that's where results live, in repetition, not randomness. Discipline is the highest form of self-respect. When you follow through on what you said you would do, especially when no one's watching, you build trust with yourself. Every time you keep your word to yourself, you reinforce the identity of someone who doesn't quit. And that identity is powerful. That's how you walk into a room differently. That's how you earn respect without saying a word. People can sense it. And when you're a person who keeps promises, especially the ones you make to yourself, it radiates. That's real strength. Not pretending to be confident, but knowing you've put in the work when no one else was willing to. It doesn't mean you never get tired. It doesn't mean you're superhuman. It just means you've made the decision that excuses are irrelevant. Whether it's raining, whether you're sick, whether you had a bad day, discipline still wins. Because you know what's on the line. You understand that the gap between where you are and where you want to be can only be closed by action. And not just any action. Consistent, focused, uncomfortable action. Discipline also protects you from your emotions. Emotions are unreliable. They come and go, rise and fall. You can't build a future on feelings. You build it on work, sacrifice, and consistency. There will be days where everything in you screams to stop. Discipline says, keep going. That's how the breakthroughs happen. That's how progress is made, one decision at a time, stacked on top of each other until momentum is so strong that failure becomes impossible. The truth is, your dreams, your goals, your vision, they demand discipline. Not once, not sometimes, but constantly. It's not punishment, it's freedom. Because when you're disciplined, you control your time, your outcomes, your life. You become the type of person who doesn't hope for results, you expect them. Not because of arrogance, but because you've earned them through sweat, sacrifice, and relentless execution. You're either a weapon or a victim. And that distinction is what defines your entire approach to life.